Okay, so we have this pattern. This pattern is used for the colors. Okay, the we have afalu for masculine and fo'ala for the feminine. Give me a minute, please. If we have the color as abyadu, abyadu means white, but this will be used for masculine. Okay, so what will be its feminine? It will be on the pattern of fa'alau, not fa'alau. Sorry, this is fa'alau. Okay, what happened to him? All right. So we have the color as abyadu, that means white, and its feminine will be baydaw. All right. So this means that when I use a color with a masculine noun, I follow the pattern of af'alu. Okay. And when when I have a noun which is a feminine, I'll follow the pattern of fa'la'u. So if I have a car, if I have a white car, I will use sayyaratun baydaw. And if I have a bag, white bag, I'll use haqibatun baydaw. But if I have a pen, which is white, I'll use qalamun abyadu. It's easy, right? So I'll tell you some colors. All right. So the first color is abyadu, that's white. Its feminine is baydaw. The second color is going to be ahmaru. This is a red. Okay. So we have ahmaru, and its feminine will be hamra, right? So like we have the Red Sea, we can use these words, the Red Sea, we have the red shirt, we have the red pen, right? Like like we have the Red Crescent. There was a famous NGO, the Red Crescent, right? They used so you had the Ahmar, or was that Hilal Ahmar, right? We have the Red Cross, like with the Red Cross Society, uh, Red Cross. So like that, you can make the sentences. I think there's difficulty with the camera here. Hold on. All right. So what we have right now is the pattern of alu with masculine, and we have the pattern of fa'lau with feminine. All right. So if we have a masculine noun like qalam, like a book, like a house, qalamun, we will use this pattern. If we have a feminine ism, we will use this pattern with its adjective, which is the color. Okay. So if I have baitun abyadu, baitun ahmaru. If I have qalam, qalamun abyadu, baytun ahmaru, right? But if I have a car, I'll use as-sayyaratun bayda'u, as-sayyaratun hamra'u. That again means red car. So I'll give you some more colors. So I have black aswadu. Like we use the hajr aswad, right? The black stone. The black stone. It is a stone, but it's a black stone. So black is what? It's uh, sifat, right? Aswad. So its uh, feminine will be saudau. This is if there is any noun which is feminine, you can use saudau. So we have green, akhdaru, akhdaru, green. And its feminine will be khadra. Like we use the ghumba de khadra, right? The green dome at the mosque of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So we use the word khadra because dome is considered feminine, right? Ghumba de khadra. So what else do we have? We'll use one more brown. So you have to memorize them, okay? When we memorize these, then we'll move further. Asmaru, samra'u. I'll do one more. My favorite color. How can I forget? Azraqu, dharqa'u. Okay. So do it with the make the compound words with it, like a white watch, a red watch, or like that. You can make the red pen, red school, right? Green shirt, or what you see around you, so that you practice it well and it becomes easier. Now, regarding the case that Tino was earlier on asking with the sifate nisbah, this is clear, right? This is clear. Or do you have any questions on this so that I can come to that? Or either of, or with adjectives in general, if there is any question about adjectives, uh, I'll answer Tino's question again. But if there is any question you have about this pattern or anything that you don't understand, okay, if there is no question, then we will proceed. Just like we have any word has three forms, right? Three cases. That's will be this will be rough. This will be nasb. This will be jar, right? So this will be nominative. This will be accusative. and this will be genitive. But this is not always the case. There are conditions, or there are scenarios where a noun, for that matter, is having a nasb. These are the special cases we're talking about. It's having a nasb, but it's in majroor form. It's in genitive form. For example, ila Baghdad. Baghdad is غير منصرف, right? Like we have Misr, Fatima, feminine names. Or yesterday we studied Kaslan. So if I have the words like this, generally, what is the case of Baghdad? It's genitive, but it doesn't have a kasra. So these are the special cases. And if there is any special case, I'll tell you that this is a special case. Otherwise, the pattern is this. This is the pattern. So whether it's an Indian man, if it goes into the genitive case, it will follow its noun. It will follow the mausuf. How? Let me show you. There is no change. So this is not something that should be any confusing. So if I have how, for example, rajulun hindiyun, right? So if this goes in genitive case, this will also go into genitive case. If it goes rajulin, right? This will be Hindian, right? And if it goes into what do you have, nasb, with nasb, we add, if it's the tanween, if it's nakira, if it's indefinite, we add an alif, right? Rajulan Hindiyan. But you can come across it. We'll practice these, but it's not going. That's not going to make any difference. Okay, Tino, is it clear now?
Yeah.
So it should not give you any difficulties. Okay, it's very simple. The pattern remains the same. So now, if I have to say Egyptian university, so university comes first. Jami'atun Misriyatun, right? Right? Jami'atun Misriyatun. Because it's feminine, this is feminine. Egyptian university. Now, if I say in the Egyptian university, right? Or say we'll do the feminine, do the indefinite first. It says in Egyptian university, like this. So, what I say, fi Jami'atin Misriyatin, right? And if it goes into the accusative, tan, all right? So if I say, if I had to say Saudi Arabia, Arabia, it's Arabia. Arabia is huge, right? Iraq is also Arabia. Egypt is Arabia. But this Arabia is Saudi, right? So Saudi is sifat. It's an adjective.
सर एक डाउट है मुझे।
Please go ahead.
आपने मिश्रा को गैर मुनसरिफ बताया ना, तो ये केस कैसे चेंज हुआ यहाँ पे?
कहाँ पे?
आपने जैसे बोले इजिप्शियन का वो
So I said that if
जामिया
it's correct, that's what I already clarified. I knew this is going to be a confusion for you. So we have Misr, Misru, right? Misra. But when it goes into misriyu. When it becomes a sifat al-nisbah, that is not gair munsarif. That is what I already said. Sifat is not a gair munsarif when it converts into sifat because we're adding ya. Already said it earlier on. This is not this the sifat of this is not gair munsarif. Okay, the nisbah, that is munsarif because we already added the tanween, right? So if we're adding a tanween, that means it's no longer gair munsarif. Is it clear?
जी.
So it was any word for that matter. We have Baghdad, we have Pakistan. So say if a person is, let's do simple things first. So we have Pakistani. Pakistan was actually gair munsarif, right? Pakistan, no. But when it's a person is a Pakistani, so Pakistaniyun, Pakistaniyatun, right? And if it's Pakistaniyatin and tan, this can take kasra, tanween. It can go into genitive. So the adjective can go, okay? That's what I had already told you earlier on. So you can do more examples like this. Main thing here is you have to, main thing about these adjectives you have to remember, that is the rule. The rule is, what is the first rule? That we have mausuf and we have a sifat, right? They will follow first, they will follow in gender. So if it's masculine, both will be masculine. If it's feminine, both will be feminine. The second thing they will follow in is number. If it's singular, it will be singular. If it's plural, it will be plural. If it's dual, it will be dual. Because you know that in Arabic, you don't have just singular and plural, right? You have dual also. We have just done singular so far. And if there is any exception anywhere, like we found the exception today, that was in the case, not the case, but in the pattern rather. So the case will be followed. Like if it's nominative, it will be nominative. If it's genitive, it will be genitive. If it's accusative, it will be accusative. Okay. But in case of colors, we found that because colors are gair munsarif, so in its genitive form, I have afalu. Okay, this is nominative form, accusative form, but its genitive form again will be afalu. Sorry, afala. Right? So this is where you have to be careful with colors. Okay, because with colors, its genitive form, because color is what? It is gair munsarif, right? It can take alif lam when it's definite, but its indefinite form, it will be like this. All right. So if it's indefinite and the mausuf is genitive, it will be without a kasra. But its case is genitive. This is the genitive form, okay? Its case is genitive, but the genitive here is represented by a nasb, like its accusative form. Because as we already, the pattern follow is the same. All gair munsarif nouns, they don't take kasra, right? But yes, those gair munsarif ism nouns on which we, when they come with alif lam, like we saw yesterday, we can put alif lam in madaris. The plural of school is schools. Madrasatun is madarisu. It is ghair munsarif, but it can come in definite form, al madarisu. So it can go the ger munsarif when an alif lam is applied on it, it behaves normally. All right. We'll do some. I'll show you some examples, but first let me just complete this. What is the fourth thing that Sifat and Mausuf will agree on? So we have the gender, we have the number, we have the case, and there is one more thing that they will agree on. Anybody? Because there are only four things associated with a noun. By default, any noun has basic four characteristics. One is its gender, one is its case, one is its number, and one is the other one. That is very important. Any noun has those four characteristics, four features. So obviously they will be followed here as well. So can anybody tell me what is the fourth one that we have to consider when we are writing a noun? And obviously the sifat has to agree with that, with the mawsuf. Nobody? It will be whether it's definite or indefinite. How can you forget it? If if a mawsuf is definite, its sifat will be definite. If a mawsuf is indefinite, its sifat will be indefinite. Please make sure that these four characteristics of the noun are imprinted, engraved on your hearts. How can you forget it? These are the four basic things with any noun: gender, number, case, and definiteness. Whether it's ism ma'rifa or nakira, right? It's common or proper. Definite. If the mawsuf is definite, its sifat will be definite. If the mawsuf is indefinite, its sifat will be indefinite. So it's going to follow the case, it's going to follow the number, it's going to follow the gender. All of these will be followed. But yes, if there is any sifat that has its own pattern, right? Like for example, with colors come up with their own pattern. So you'll follow the same pattern, but it doesn't mean that if it takes af'ala here, it doesn't mean it goes in genitive, right? It goes in genitive because its sifat will be genitive, but its genitive will be represented by a nasb, all right? You have any confusion with this? Any questions on this, Tino, or anybody? Because we'll be doing exercises on this tomorrow, okay? Today we're running out of time. So tomorrow we'll do the exercises, but I want you to go ahead and, in fact, I'll tell you about the classes next class. But if you have any questions about the grammar of it, you can tell me before we jump into the exercises, because exercises are going to make it more clear. But what I would want you to do is to make sentences, or rather, write this yourself, okay? Uh, write the words yourself, write the compound words, adjectives with nouns, with the colors, with the nationalities, with the nisbat, okay? Write it, right? And this can help you vocabulary. And that's when you, if you have any questions, you can always drop me a message, and I'm always going to be available, okay? So if you have anything to ask or any confusion, you can ask me. I'm here, and we still have a few more minutes. And then we'll be doing the exercises exactly on the same in our next session, okay? So I'll just wait for you if you have anything to ask me. Okay, if there is no question, I hope this is all clear. And we'll conclude today's session. And we'll meet inshallah ta'ala in our next session, where we'll do the exercises of what we studied today. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.